Hello, folks. Welcome back. Welcome. We have been off trial for a week, so I hope you all had a decent break from this, where you watched all my other content. Yeah. Me. If you are completely new here, hi, I'm Nick. I reside in Sweden, where I practice labor law. So yeah, I do have some legal expertise when it comes to that. But yes, I know Sweden, United States, different legal systems. But I am trained in evidence evaluation, in witness evaluation, and all of that stuff. So I do believe I can produce good commentary for you all. But that is up to you to judge. But looking at the numbers, it seems like you are coming back time and time again. And sometimes we bring new people. So thank you so much. We left off last week with Yellow Flag Guy, who proudly for a day and a half described how he put flags on evidence. Yeah, we broke that down on stream and we concluded that, well, he is the yellow flag guy because that is the least amount of damage he can do on a crime scene. And yeah, so that's all he does. And that is why there were so many yellow flags going around on the Donovan Thomas crime scene. So I asked that AI songwriter to make a song about Yellow Flag Guy. Let's listen to it.
Yellow flag guy in the morning light, not quite sharp but he's trying right. Marks the clues with yellow signs, never solves the case but keeps us alive. He walks around with his flag in hand, marks the spots like he's in command. Yellow flags on every scene, he's a part of the team though he's rarely seen. Yellow flag guy, that's his name. Not a mastermind, but it's all the same. Does his part in his own small way. Yellow flags make sure nothing strays. Yellow flag guy on the stand, talking flags all around. No one listening, no one cares, proudly speaking into air. He places flags every day, bright yellow in the way. Testifying, standing firm, still no one concerned. Yellow flags everywhere you see. Yellow flags waving just for me. Yellow flags everywhere you see. Yellow flags waving just for me.
Yeah, I could not help myself. So I did one of those. Yeah, if you missed out on Yellow Flag Guy, you didn't miss much. That was completely unnecessary. And do you know why? Well, today there's a crime scene specialist. So we get to see the yellow flags today. So That poor guy, he was on the stand so proud of his yellow flags. Completely unnecessary. But we started off with a bit of a banter between, as per usual, the defense and Judge Glanville. So let's listen to that, and then we will listen to portions of the actual crime scene forensic guy. See here, closed captions.
Before we get started for the morning, it's been brought to my attention that there is an 803, I should say, residual hearsay exception issue I got to take up. Is that going to be through this witness or is it going to be through another witness?
Your Honor, that's not an issue right for today. That's
Okay.
through another witness that may come either later this week or early next week, but we'll give the court ample time to hear that motion.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else I need to take up before we call for our jurors?
No, nothing from the state.
All right, anything from any defense counsel?
Well, is it, Mr. Steele?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Steele.
And the microphone's not working, so I'll. Your Honor, there's some demonstrative exhibits that the state just showed us, and I will be objecting to cumulative, I don't know the numbers, I did not write them down, I apologize if I approach it from you to. But one is a crime scene sketch made by the gentleman who's testifying now, crime scene investigator Smith.
Low code ID.
And also just a copy of his report blown up, that's how I perceive it. And then the second one is taking that report and putting it onto another demonstrative. So I'm going to object on behalf of Mr. Williams as cumulative, plus he'll be testifying and there are photographs. So we have it in 3 different mechanisms. So I'm objecting under 403, time, prejudice, fusion of the issues, plus just cumulative.
Okay, it's just a demonstrative aid?
Yes, that's what I believe.
All right, is that state?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. They are demonstrative aids, but the portion of that objection that's incorrect is that it's cumulative. These demonstrative aids are.
You can't, it's not up to you, prosecutor guy who I don't care enough to remember your name. What do you mean incorrect? It's not cumulative. That's not a correct reply. You stated as, we believe it is not cumulative because of, and then you give your reason. You just said, they are incorrect. Oh, here we go.
Are actually going to assist the jury, as you will hear through this witness, assist the jury in understanding his testimony. One such demonstrative, well, they're both images of his report, but one such demonstrative is an aerial satellite view of that crime scene through a Google map, which will give more context and color to what it is that, in fact, they're looking at. And the second is just the sketch that he did, which, looking at it plainly, it's not as
If you have the sketch, then that is the thing he did himself. A Google view that is probably taken within the last month or so doesn't help. Cumulative.
forming and aiding as the secondary sketch will be, but put together, it will in fact help the jury to understand what it is that he's referencing as he does testify before this court.
Can you show him?
Sure.
The actual crime scene sketch, bro.
And you're saying that he took, and can you tell me what the state's exhibit is?
Sure thing, Your Honor. It is State's Exhibit 284 Yankee Flamingo.
Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
That's all right. That's all right. I didn't remember your name this morning, so we're even now. Okay. All right. And then what's the other one?
that's 284 Yankee G.
Well, at least
Golf.
they are not drawing
Golf.
themselves on a
Okay.
board.
All right,
This
and
guy.
is that the numeric? I guess is he going to testify about those numbers that are on the Google Maps?
Yes, these are actually the crime scene markers plotted here on these particular spots. And as it's already plotted on the actual diagram, but these mirror exactly what it is that is in fact crime scene he testifies.
Okay, Mr. Steele, I'll overrule your objection at this point in time, sir.
Can I just have a continuance?
You certainly may. All right, anybody else? All right, Lieutenant Walker, summon our jurors, please.
Nobody is surprised. And they bring in the jury.
Is Investigator Smith out there?
Yes.
Can we call him in, please? All right, ladies and gentlemen, of the jury, good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Oh,
Investigator Smith, you're still under oath, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay.
oh, he's still on
We're
this.
going to continue. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Investigator.
Morning.
Right. On last week, well, the week before last, we were last speaking about the crime scene record. Do you remember that part of our conversation?
Yes.
And I am now showing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Yellow Flag Guy. Somehow, Yellow Flag Guy is still on the stand. Because in his own mind, he's an excellent investigator in his own mind. 81. Yeah, and we start out today. We're at 189 on the sidebar counter. The last day, we had 7 sidebars in a 4-hour day. So that we will see if that number goes up more today.
Defense counsel, which has previously been shown to them and provided in the discovery process as 285 Yankee Alpha. Okay. All right. I am now approaching the court permission. Witness states 285 Yankee Alpha. Investigator Smith, when you had a chance to look at that, you can look back up at me, and I'll continue speaking.
Yes, I'm familiar with those.
All right. Does that appear to be the crime scene record that we were speaking about last week?
Yes.
The week before last?
Yes, it does.
And is it in the same or substantially same condition as it was when we last had a chance to review it?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state now moves to admit states 285 Yankee Alpha into evidence.
Any further objection to the state's 285 Yankee Alpha?
I need to find that
It's admitted
tune
subject to the court's
without
overruling,
the
and
song.
maybe published as you see.
Thank you. I am now approaching the defense with what has been pre-marked, which has been pre-marked as states 293 Yankee. 293 Yankee. Approaching the witness with has been pre-marked as states 293 Yankee. Investigator Smith, what have I handed you?
This is a desk of some video footage, I
Okay.
believe.
Have you had a chance to review the footage on that disc that you described prior to coming to court today?
Yes, I have.
And what is contained on that footage?
It's a drone video that was that I looked at of basically an overview of the neighborhood in which this incident occurred.
Do you see any markings on that disc that look familiar to you?
Yeah, so my initials and the date.
Okay, and does that drone footage that you had a chance to review prior to coming to court today fairly and accurately depict the area of 330 McDaniel Street Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, as you remember it to be from January 10th, 2015?
Yes, it's similar.
Okay, and Your Honor, at this time, the state now moves to admit state's exhibit 293 Yankee into evidence.
Any objections to 293 Yankee? All right, hearing none, 293 Yankees admitted.
All right.
Published as you see fit.
Thank you, Your Honor. And we'll do so. Okay. Just a brief indulgence, Your Honor, so we can cue up the technology.
Anytime now, prosecution. Anytime now. It's your show. It's an aerial photo.
Look to the left of you.
They spent money on getting a drone to make this aerial shot. They could have just have a picture from Google. They took the time to hire the drone driver for God knows how long to make this. Just to get an aerial photo of a crime scene, how it doesn't look like, because this crime was 9 years ago.
If you actually would press pause, Ms. Knight, Investigator Smith, using this particular, and is it possible to increase the sounds?
And they still, the prosecution forks it up. I said fork, YouTubes. I said fork and nothing else. Skip.
Okay, all right, before we press play, Investigator Smith, using the screen to your left, I want you to look at the street that is running horizontal towards the bottom of the screen. What street do you recognize, if at all, that to be?
That's Northside Drive.
Do you see
How is this helpful for the jury? They have gone through this on pointer on a map. Where was the crime scene? It was over here. And now a drone shot. How is this not cumulative? Your Honor, Judge Glanville, spineless. Judge Glanville is always complaining about time management, and still he lets this pile of garbage in.
street that is running perpendicular to it towards the right of the screen?
Where the yellow school bus is?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What do you know that street to be?
that is McDaniel Street.
All right. Observing the street that to the first street that runs perpendicular with Northside Drive, what to the left of the last street that you just called out, what street is that?
Hills Avenue.
And the street that is immediately to the left of that street running perpendicular to Northside Drive, what do you know that street to be?
That's either Trenholm Avenue or Trenholm Street.
And what zone is this?
Back then it was
Shannon Graham, yeah. The guy on the stand is still the guy from last week. He was so insignificant. I only made that song about him, and then I completely forgot that he was still on the stand. Yeah, as Yuji says, the state is dragging this witness because following will be the actual crime scene person and other people. This guy is completely unnecessary for this case. Only cumulative.
I think it still is, actually.
All right. And is that contained in a particular beat?
Well, back then it was 508 beat. They've redistricted beats
Okay.
multiple times over the years. I don't know exactly what they call that nowadays.
Sure. If you could use the pointer that I've handy pointed, for the purposes of the jury, can you tell the jury what that red structure is near the yellow school bus that you pointed out earlier using the pointer?
Right there.
Yes, sir.
That's the Texaco gas station that sits at that intersection.
Okay. And you can also relocate. Your Honor, make an estimation. The witness have freedom to relocate as needed for this.
He may stand down and illustrate his testimony for the jury.
Yes, sir. And you may stand up for this. Do you see the area or around or about where the barbershops would have been on this particular shot?
In this area right here.
Okay. All right. You may reclaim your seat, and Mr. Knight, would you please come? Thank you.
Oh, Taxpayers' money, folks. Fulton County taxpayers' money. Hired a drone and the drone driver to take an aerial shot over the area of the crime, but not as it looked 9 years ago. Yeah, let's skip ahead a bit.
What is this? Using the pointer again. What is this?
Because
Another business.
blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah.
It's 293 Yankee Alpha, 293 Yankee Bravo. Can you tell the jury what X2 is?
X2 is almost right in front of the barbershop itself.
It is 284.
And ladies and gentlemen, the work of Yellow Flag Guy. 50 to 57, 63 to 76. Now, he is thorough about placing his flag, but oh my God. The entire aerial thingy. Now, let's see here. We are, with his testimony so far this day, we are roughly 40 minutes in. Completely unnecessary. Last week, him talking about placing his yellow flags. Everything he said about that could have been replaced with this image. He talked about how he put out these flags for a full day in court. How is that not wasting everybody's time? Yes, Tammy, that looks like a toddler's play area. Yeah. And now, I believe this is from the actual day of the crime or night.
Your Honor, I am now approaching witness which already previously admitted exhibits 5 Yankee through
Hello, Mr. Jingles. Hello.
283 Yankee, which consists of the crime scene photos for reference. Selections from 5 Yankee to 283 Yankee, as all of the exhibits that were admitted previously are not contained there in that stack. Looking at the screen above you, Investigator Smith, in State's Exhibit 5 Yankee, can you tell the jury what we're looking at here?
This is looking closer to Peter Street, looking down McDaniel Street towards Northside Drive. The green building you see is 330 McDaniel Street, and the yellow building is the secondary barbershop.
Now, when you say, well, let me ask you a couple of questions. What street is all the way down running perpendicular to McDaniel, as you described?
As far down as you can see with the
That's so boring. Yep, that's the barbershop. Crime scene photos. Again, everything this guy have been talking about for a full day plus an hour. Yeah. And yeah, quite a lot of shots fired. And they're on the break. Let's see here if I had a... I was tweeting with Thug Daily earlier today, and I said, I could probably do a full recap of this entire day in less than 45 minutes. Let's see. Now, that would be horrible for my numbers. So everybody hit that thumbs up and share if you have social media. Do all the YouTube things. You all know what to do. Oh, and they went on a break. Let's see what happens after. Not much.
Where's Mr. Matthews? Please, thank you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's bring our witness back in and summon our jurors, please. Let's bring our witness back in.
Yes, Ghost Tree, still green, still green.
Witness back in and summon our jurors, please.
Let's see if it improves.
All right, we are now publishing State's Exhibit 2419.
Now, don't get me wrong, this is a horrible crime scene. It really is. A man lost his life. And it is a tragedy. But it has literally nothing to do with this trial, except a desperate attempt to make this crime fit the defendants, who were at some point were people of interest in the investigation, but at no time were they actually, I mean, seriously? Diogo, one day we need to ask me to react to Karen's, and sausage on Karen would be hilarious. I could do that. I mean, if there is a break in the trial, or if it's very boring, I can do one of these. I could do a Friday stream. You mean I have my Finally Friday casual stream where I can react to Karen's and sausage. Let's do that on Friday. Thank you, Diogo. Yeah, I mean, I've been reacting to Nancy Grace and barely survived. That was a hoot. But yeah, I could do sausage thingies. Yeah. Let's do that on Friday. Good suggestion. Thank you so much.
All right, is this the same hole that we were talking about so far?
Yes,
And what's the significance of this picture?
just to deduct the tag of the vehicle.
Okay. Now publishing State's Exhibit.
Karen's, not
30.
Karen Reed, but
And,
Karen's.
is this the same hole that we were talking about just a few months?
Yes,
All right, what was significant for you to take this photo?
the deflated tire mostly, and then looks like there's some, what appears to be blood in the upper right-hand corner of the, we believe, something like that.
Now publishing for the jury State's Exhibit 31 Yankee. Is this just a closer view of what we already looked at?
Yes,
All right. Now publishing State's Exhibit 32 Yankee. Is this the same blood spatter that you took in the last photo?
yeah, it's just some different angles, different perspectives of everything.
I have maxed the court sound. I can't max it anymore.
Is this just a closer view of the same area that you took in
but
the
it-
prior to?
Yes, just trying to capture all the, what was
Lower my
the-
microphone
Right. Now publishing State's Exhibit 221 Yankee.
so you can.
And is this still the same file that we're looking at?
I
Yes, it
lowered
is.
my microphone so you can increase your own volume.
There was two pieces of evidence that we wanted to collect or notate anyways, number 47 and number 46.
And is there another marker on
There's a 60 just in front of the rear tire.
there? We'll get back to 46. Is 47 and 60 noted on your crime scene diagram, which you can note on the demonstration of 284 Yankee Golf with the pointer?
Yes. Number 47 right here.
Okay.
And number 60 is right in this general area on the vehicle itself.
Now publishing, excuse me, the next exhibit, which is 223 Yankee. Is this a closer view of what we just described as marker 47?
Yes,
And what does it appear to be?
it's a cell phone.
And why was that of significance to you?
Anytime we get a cell phone on a crime scene, we normally collect it. We don't know who it belonged to, or if it was somebody involved, one of the victims, or just unfortunate that somebody dropped it out of their pocket. We just need to be able to identify where it came from.
Now publishing State's Exhibit 218 for the jury. Yankee.
Oh, look, a flag.
Just a brief note. And is this a closer view of the picture that we looked at last?
Yes, it is.
Now publishing State's Exhibit 218 Yankee. What are we looking at here?
This is the back of the Tahoe with a bunch of evidence numbers on there that signify, we believe, were bullet defects on the back of the Tahoe. And then another piece of evidence, number 44 on the parking lot.
And to the right of that, is that right of the Tahoe, which I believe to be marker 48, is that the same black item that was recovered?
Yes, it's a black t-shirt.
Okay, all right, we will get to, now moving to State's Exhibit 226 Yankee. Is this just a closer view of marker 50?
Yes,
Or moving to states 227 Yankee? Is this a closer view of marker 51?
that's correct.
All right, now turning to states exhibit 228 Yankee.
Yes, that's another close-up.
Another closer, okay. Now turning to states exhibit 229 Yankee. Is this a closer view of just a marker 53?
Yes, it is.
All right. Turning your attention down to states exhibit 230 Yankee. Is this just a closer view of marker 54?
Yes, it is.
All right, now turning your attention to 231 Yankee. Is this just a closer view of marker 55?
It is.
Turning your attention to 32 Yankee. It's a closer view of marker 56.
Yes.
Same view.
Yes, it is.
Turning your attention to 233 Yankee. All right. This is just a closer view of the same bullet defect at marker 57.
Yes, it is.
All right, and now I am going to turn your attention to 240 Yankee. All right. What do you see in this picture? Why did you take the picture?
This is the interior of the Tahoe, and obviously there's a weapon on the front seat that was significant in a shooting.
Okay, and before we do that, I want to go back to marker, this night. I want you to take with the pointer and identify on the diagram where, if at all, you see marker numbers 50 through 57 on diagram 284 Yankee Golf.
We have to group them as just a series of numbers rather than put them all in there, but that's the back of the Tahoe.
All right. Utilizing state's exhibit 240, did you
And there are the flags again.
On this particular seat collector.
Yes, they were.
Turning to the next state's exhibit. Now publishing 242 Yankee for the jury. Can you describe what we have here, sir?
That's a gun.
These are two separate weapons. The number 62 is
Two
a Glock
guns.
handgun, and number 61 is a Kel-Tec.
Do you recall if those items, if those weapons were loaded?
They had, obviously, I believe the Kel.
Yeah, here's the thing, something I get annoyed by. I can assure you, those guns were not found like that. In my opinion, my personal opinion, crime scene photos should reflect the crime scene as it were, untouched. If they see guns, they wait for the guy, the forensic crime scene analyst guy, to get there, take the photos, and then they can move it about. But not like this, because this only tells me, okay, who placed them there? Where's the chain of custody? Where were they found? A cop testified, oh, we found them in the back seat under a rug. Okay, do you have photos of that? No? Okay, that's interesting. Why not? I need to see, but I might have a higher standard than most, but I need to see the full chain of custody. They were found here. We saw under the rug, we lifted it up, we saw the guns, we let go. For instance, waited for the crime scene analyst to get there, to take the pictures, because when you collect evidence, they need to see, okay, what did it touch? Where was it? Where's the rug? We need to bag the rug. And all of that. There's a big fucking fly. Get out of my office. Or at least fly into the spider web or something. Oh well, let's continue.
Tech had a
And I
fairly
said
full
fork.
magazine, and I believe
That's
the
in
Glock
fork,
was loaded as well.
fork and knife.
Yes, they were.
And did you find any shell casings on the crime scene related to those particular firearms?
No, we did not.
I am approaching witness with,
Oh, I got my own.
oh, yes. Okay.
Yellow flag guy.
All right, now approaching the witness. Your Honor, at this time, the state's next exhibits are actually firearms, so
Why did you have to have gloves on for looking at video or photos? Or that, yeah, he might be preparing for the actual evidence.
I wanted to make sure before doing anything, I got question.
Have they been rendered safe already?
Yes, sir.
All right, you just want to show those to the defense counsel?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to look at guns. And remember, this is yellow flag guy. He's not actually the forensics guy. That person is, I don't know if they will call an actual forensic crime guy. This is just yellow flag guy.
I am starting to review that.
The Glock handgun that was recovered from the Tahoe.
Okay, and is that the same handgun that is marked as identified
Don't
as
point it at
marker 62,
anyone.
on a state
Flag,
exhibit
yellow flag guy.
242 Yankee?
Yes, it is.
And is that Glock firearm that we have before you also noted on your diagram, which is State's Exhibit 284 Yankee Golf?
Yes.
And can you, for the purpose?
Yeah, and
of
I know there
clarification,
are
use the pointer to show
storm
where marker
cells
62 is?
all over the Midwest
Inside the
and
vehicle.
East.
Okay.
So
And
please
point
be
of
careful,
clarification,
folks.
when you
Please
arrived
be
to the
careful.
scene, was the
If you
driver's
hear
side
the
door
siren,
these firearms found
get
open or
underground
I believe it
or
was
in the
closed when we got
safest
there.
place in the house.
All right, Your Honor, after that, does State's Exhibit 242 Yankee Alpha appear to be in the same or substantially same condition as it was at the crime scene and when you last viewed it?
Yes.
All right, Your Honor, at this time, the state now moves to admit State's Exhibit 242 Yankee Alpha into evidence.
Any objection to 242 Yankee Alpha? Our hearing none is admitted and may be shown as you see fit.
You may use liquid from box to win the state and publish that for the chair. And do we have the scissors? What was also contained there in the state 242 Yankee Alpha?
Well, this was the magazine and the ammunition that was inside the weapon when it was recovered.
And I believe Defense Counsel, at this time, Your Honor, we also published that portion of State's Exhibit 242 Yankee Alpha.
It's 242 Yankee Alpha, the weapon and the ammo and the magazine,
Correct.
or is collectively?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any further objection? Anyone? Okay, it's admitted. They're admitted, maybe published as you see fit.
Magazine. This did have, I believe, 15 cartridge casings in it, bullets. And then. Did you take them all out?
Here's the thing. He's not the guy who actually collected it. So why is he the guy who presents it? Is it because he's a gullible fool who the prosecution knows they can use for this kind of thing to make things look better? In my opinion, this yellow flag guy does not make things look better. I have some suspicion that the rest of the cops in this case regarding the Donovan Thomas incident are even more morons than this guy. If I had known that I could make 100 and 150,000 a year being a good cop in the Atlanta region, I would have moved there decades ago, because I don't make that money doing law in Sweden and I never have. Now, Sweden have about our cost of living is about 60% of the United States, so I'm doing okay. But Jesus Christ, I could have been an excellent law enforcement guy in Atlanta simply by not being a moron.
Caliber, 40 caliber bullet.
And were they all the same caliber bullet container in that exhibit?
Yes, they're all 40 calibers.
All right, and what type of, I'll try that question.
I keep hearing banjos when I look at that guy.
Now, I would like you to take a look at State's Exhibit 242.
Please somebody get
242 Yankee
him a
Bravo.
phone book
Have you
so
had a chance to review that
he
State's
can sit
Exhibit
on.
before today?
Yes, I have.
And what is
He
State's
looks like
Exhibit
an adult.
242 Yankee Bravo?
This was the Kel-Tec, I guess, weapon, we'll call it that. Doesn't
Now,
really
I
rifle, but
know
more of a big pistol.
Not all
And is that the same firearm that is
Put
featured in State's
3.5,
242 Yankee
6'4" like me.
exhibit, identified
But-
as marker 61?
Yes, it is.
And it's marker 61.
And I've seen security guards at 5'6", 5'7", who are legitimately scary. I don't see that guy as the yellow flag guy as particularly authoritative. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I mean, you had a few months ago, they had this cop who I genuinely believe was a good cop. He was African American, 6'2", 300 pounds, and now he looked scary, but it was when he talked with such calm that he didn't need to be 6'2", 300 pounds. He could be 5'6", 200 pounds, and he would still have that authority. This guy, yellow flag guy, he could be 7 feet tall, 500 pounds, and I would still mock him.
Which you described to be the kill tech, also identified on your crime scene diagram, which is State's 284 Yankee Golf.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, and Your Honor, well, does that now showing defense counsel, now showing you State's Exhibit 149 Yankee? Is that still the same silver or gray? All right, I'm now approaching witness.
For fuck's sake. So, fork. Damn it. I was skipping ahead, looking at bad crime scene photos. And now they're on Sidebar. Which brings us to Sidebar counter 190. Yeah, I had a boomer moment. I was muted. Sorry. Sometimes yes, Tammy, you heard forked, as in knife, fork, spoon. It's the accent, the YouTubes. It's the accent. Words come out. Yeah. Now they are on. Oh, they were on a new break.
I believe that's the Tahoe.
Excuse me, poor question, Howard asked.
And more crime scene photos.
The placards that are on the wall, do you see those?
More
Yes, I
crime
do.
scene photos.
What are those there to indicate?
Those indicate what we believe were impact points by bullets striking the building.
Sure. And do you see, how many did you see on this exhibit?
There's 4 total there.
And did you include those particular placards? Well, I'll wait till the next exhibit. Can we turn to now, next exhibit 261 Y? Is this just a closer picture? Just a brief moment. Is this a closer view of of the marker 63?
Yes.
Where you believe to be a defect from?
Usually in the murder investigations and trials, they show examples. This is 12 out of 180 photos. And the rest will be sent with, because you only need that broad picture, do you get the questions? How many bullet holes and damages did you found within this area? We found 43 or whatever's. Are these correct depictions and examples of those damages? Yes, they are. Here are 5 photos we can show. And then the rest will be admitted as evidence and be sent back with the jury. That's the normal. This isn't normal, showing everything, because it's time consuming and it's unnecessary and it is cumulative. But welcome to Judge Glanville's court. And I mean, we are still we're not even halfway through we are 6 months in. We are exactly 6 months in. This trial started November 28th of last year. Now we are May 28th. So exactly 6 months in. And we are not even halfway through the prosecution's case in chief. This is witness number 74 or 75 out of 209. And it's so much unnecessary crap. It's just so much unnecessary crap. This guy has been, at the moment, on the stand. Yellow flag guy has been on the stand for God knows how long now. And it's so unnecessary.
Correct.
All right. Now, in front of where the green
And more.
this particular,
And more. And more.
You see a window near those black chairs on this exhibit?
And more.
The barbershop.
And more. And more. Now, of course, this was horrifying at the time, but 9 years ago. And more. And more. And more.
That's correct.
And more. And more.
This is a different.
And more. And more. And more. And more. And more. And more. And now they're showing the shell casings. This is so immensely stupid. You don't have to show every piece of shell casing. You show examples. You get yes, there are 50 of them. I don't care. This is so time consuming and completely unnecessary in a trial. And they are going on a break. They are coming back from the break. They are looking at evidence. Oh.
Yes, the entire one. Okay, all right. It's admitted.
Now let's see. I thought in the beginning of the stream, I said there will be the forensics guy, because I actually thought they threw a yellow flag guy out in just to get a proper investigator in. No, he's still here. Yellow flag guy. He's still here. And no, they have not tested anything for DNA. Not that I heard so far. Hi, Divans Moore. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. I think we are headed towards cross-examination.
Hi, Mr.
Yes, cross-examination. Finally. Cross-examination. Now, I already know, the cross-examination will not take the rest of the day. This is how insignificant this guy is. He's not even worth half a day of cross-examination because there's no need for it. So let's listen to first Mr. Shard.
Mr. Shawcross.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. May it please the court. Investigator Smith, good afternoon. My name is Max Shard. I represent Shannon Stillwell.
Hi.
Oh, wait. Before cross-examination, let's just play it again. My view of yellow flag guy. I played around with AI songwriting thingy, and here is what it put out.
Yellow flag guy in the morning light. Not quite sure, but he's trying right. Marks the clues with yellow signs. Never solves the case, but keeps us alive. He walks around with his flag in hand. Marks the spots like he's in command. Yellow flags on every scene. He's a part of the team, though he's rarely seen. Yellow flag guy, that's his name. Not a mastermind, but it's all the same. Does his part in his own small way. Yellow flags make sure nothing strays. Yellow flag guy on the stand, talking flags all around. No one listening, no one cares. Proudly speaking into air. He places flags every day, bright yellow in the way. Testifying, standing firm, still no one concerned. Yellow flags everywhere you see. Yellow flags waving just for me. Yellow flags everywhere you see. Yellow flags waving just for me.
Yeah, that is my view of yellow flag guy, the witness here, who has been on the stand for, a day and a half or more. And his entire testimony could have been done in less than half an hour. But this prosecution drags it out. And I have this notion that once we get to the defense case in chief, the judge will limit them for time issues. That is my fear. And I wouldn't be surprised if the judge tells them you need to conclude it in 3 weeks or something stupid like that, because Judge Glanville has no spine.
Here, Smith, on January 10, 2015, what time did you arrive at 330 McDaniel Street?
I don't recall the specific time. I know it was during towards the end of my shift, and I worked 3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
I'm not asking you to speculate, but is there a way you could narrow down the time?
I honestly don't remember the specific time.
Let me ask you this. When you arrived at the scene, was EMS and the ambulances, were they still there?
No, they were not.
Okay. Responding officers were there?
There were responding officers there, yeah.
So everybody was gone. Then just responding officer, not even first responding officer. Seriously.
Yes,
Okay. At the time, you were a homicide investigator, correct?
that's correct.
Okay. Were you the first homicide investigator there?
I don't recall. We usually arrive as a group, whoever's available. There might have been 2 or 3 of us, or usually there's more than one working at a time.
Okay, now, even though you were a homicide investigator in this case, you were not assigned this case. You were not the lead investigator, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and that was Investigator Thorpe, correct?
Correct.
Thorpe.
Yes.
Was he present at the scene when you arrived?
No, he was not.
We've learned about your efforts in documenting and collecting evidence in this case. Were you following anyone's instructions, Thorpe remotely or anyone else, as to what to collect, how to collect?
No, it was, I've done a few homicide things up to that point, so he felt he was comfortable with letting me do it, and that's the decision we came up with.
Sure. And who were you directing on the scene?
There was, like I said, crime scene tech Stewart was there. There might have been another tech there as well assisting, but if it's so, I don't recall what their name might have been. But we all worked together out there.
Okay, I believe that we saw a picture in that's in evidence of two handguns
I forgot to mute myself while typing. Sorry.
that appear to be on a leather car seat. Do you recall?
Yes,
Okay, just for clarification, what car or truck were those guns found in?
that was in the green Tahoe.
And who located those weapons? Was it you or someone under your direction?
I'm not exactly sure. When I went over the vehicle, I saw them sitting there. They were there in the vehicle when I got there. I don't remember specifically if they were under a seat or
This tells me that he can't even testify if they were actually found in that car. He can only testify to when I got there, they were in that car. Oh no, this is so stupid.
or all I know is they were sitting in the front seat when I was to look at stuff. Like I said, I don't know specifically if they were left there or if they were found somewhere else and put there. I can't specifically say.
Is it possible that other law enforcement found them in a certain location in the car and then moved them onto the seat? Is that what you're saying?
going to object, Your Honor, and then also make a sustained objection.
Okay, to your understanding, were you the first person to see those weapons in that car?
I don't know if I was the first person. I know that I saw them.
Okay. To your understanding, do you know if those weapons were moved in the car by someone under your direction?
I'm going to object, Your Honor, calls for fast 9 minutes.
The sad part here is that the objections are correct. And this is planned by the prosecution because they know this guy had no idea what happened on that crime scene before he got there. And that is the sole reason why he's on the stand now. And because he can't speculate. He's not an expert witness. But just by asking, he puts it in the jury's heads and minds. Who put the guns there? If they were already there when Yellow Flag Guy arrived.
Now, if you could display. Displayed is, for the record, is 293 Yankee Bravo. And sir, you testified that is it's a drone view of the scene in this case, correct? In the
Correct.
surrounding area?
Yes.
Okay. And on the right-hand side of the photo, vertically, that's McDaniel, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And on the bottom of the photo, going left and right, almost off the camera, that would be Northside Drive, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, Northside Drive is a major road in Atlanta
It is.
where Mercedes-Benz Stadium is located now, correct?
I think it was a Georgia Dome at the time, but yes, that's in that general area.
All right, great. Were you involved in the collection of video from the barbershop in this case?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did you, this first street that runs parallel to McDaniel, what did you say the name of it? That was Hills?
Hills Avenue.
Hills Avenue. Did you, as an investigator in this case, ever walk up and down Hills Avenue to search for any cameras?
I did not know.
Okay, the next street over, parallel to Hills Avenue to the left. What is the name of that street?
I believe it's Trenholm.
Trenholm.
I believe so.
Okay. As part of your work in this case, did you canvass that area and look for any video cameras?
That was not my function that day, no.
Okay, so you did not, to your knowledge, anyone under your direction did that?
I don't know. You might have to ask Investigator Thorpe that one.
Okay. All right. And
Investigator
Northside
Thorpe, okay.
Drive, you would agree that we say that's a major road, number of businesses on Northside Drive?
Correct.
Did you canvass Northside?
Yeah, sorry, before pausing again. Gigi says he probably doesn't even know when the photos were taken. Absolutely correct. His only job at that crime scene was placing yellow flags for the actual crime scene analysts. And he's been on the stand for 2 days. He has no clue.
Drive to look for video cameras?
Again, that was not my function that day, so no.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm using the right terms. Flock camera. What is a flock camera?
God, I've been out of the game for criminal investigations for a while for our department. And I think a flock camera reads various tags throughout the city of Atlanta the way, or in general, the way I understand them.
That would be also known as a license plate reader, an LPR.
Hey, we got raided by Broken Baker. Hello, folks, and welcome. We are at the moment looking at the testimony from Yellow Flag Guy. Yellow Flag Guy has been on the stand for just about 2 full trial days. And all he has testified about is placing yellow flags at evidence. Hello, Baker aides. All he has testified about is yellow flags. Him placing yellow flags, because throughout his testimony for the past 2 trial days, I have come to the conclusion that that is his only responsibility, because everybody else in his unit knows you can't trust him with anything else. That's his job. Placing yellow flags at evidence, and then off he forks. That's it. And if you go back about 10 minutes, you hear the song I made an AI songwriter do about Yellow Flag Guy. Then this is the cross-examination of him, where they're asking, well, now you've been on the stand for 2 days. What else do you know? And he testifies now to just about fuck all. Absolutely nothing. He can barely explain technical terms. Welcome to You Can't Unf a Cluster F, another Cluster F part of this trial. And you just came over from the Karen Reed case. Yeah, this is another one with completely incompetent law enforcement and a prosecution that just takes time to present absolutely worthless testimony and worthless evidence.
Our camera.
That's correct. Something to that similar technology.
Okay. As part of your work on January 10th, 2015, did you take it upon yourself to locate or find the locations of the nearby flock cameras or LPR cameras?
2010, I'm not even sure the Atlanta Police Department had them.
Okay.
I did not, that was not my function, but I don't, from what I can recall, those didn't come into our use for quite some years.
Okay, we're talking about 2015.
I'm sorry, yeah, 2015. Even then, I'm not sure what was down there that day.
And then the city also has cameras, correct?
That's correct.
That are on traffic devices and telephone poles and the like, correct? Street lights?
They're put in various places throughout the city. What they're mounted on could be anything.
And as part of your work on January 10th, 2015, did you search for any of those cameras?
Again, that was.
Witnesses already testified as to what his role was. I stand in objection as well.
Okay.
Objection.
All right. So your function that night did not involve any search for cameras. Is that correct?
Same basis objection. I stand in objection. Let's move on.
All right. Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Weinstein?
again, this guy has been on the stand for more or less 2 full trial days. This cross-examination began 15 minutes ago. This was the first of the defense attorneys, Mr. Shaw. That's all he had for this witness, because he provided absolutely yak crap for 2 full days. Yeah, and you who just joined from Baker, hit the thumbs up, just as you do with Baker. Baker is a good guy, even though he is Danish.
Good afternoon, Investigator Smith.
Good afternoon.
My name is Doug Weinstein. I'm Diamante Kendrick's attorney. I have a few questions about the drone video of State's Exhibit 293Y. Did you take that drone video?
No,
Do you know when that drone video was taken?
I do not.
When you observed that drone video, the scenery in that video, is that the same as it was at the time of this incident in 2015?
No.
What are the differences that you saw?
Well, there's leaves on the trees, or leaves in January. I believe there was some additional, I think there was some additional apartment buildings that were constructed between here and there.
Yeah, this incident took place in 2015, the shooting of Donovan Thomas. The drone footage shown in court was about a few months ago, just to help the jury understand the scene. So the prosecution and the investigators thought, yeah, you know what? We are going to hire a drone and rent a drone and a drone driver for God knows how many hours to make aerial video of a 9-year-old crime scene. Drone drivers are cheap. Now, they're not as expensive as a lawyer, but they are cheap. That's taxpayers' money. This shows when the government have unlimited resources, what amount of money they can put on garbage and present in trial as evidence.
But for the most part, that area between McDaniel and Northside and Peter Street hasn't really changed over the years, and that was the same.
Did you instruct on the flight path that drone was to take in shooting that video?
No,
That drone appears to, and if you recall, that drone appears to fly up Hills Avenue, then proceed to the right on Peters, and then fly up McDaniel back toward Northside Drive, correct?
that's correct.
And I believe you testified to Mr. Sharp that you did not walk up Hills Avenue in the course of your investigation that night. Is that right? Do you recall testifying that you did not walk up Hills Avenue?
I just overruled
The,
objection.
as far as you know, in your personal knowledge, does Hills Avenue have anything to do with this incident?
Not that I'm aware of. Like I said, I focused on McDaniel Street.
Thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Mr. Matthews?
Good afternoon, investigator. How are you today?
Good, and you, sir?
Doing pretty well, thank you. A few questions for you. Let's talk about the firearms that were located in the green Tahoe. Can we do that?
Yes,
Okay. You indicated that there were 2 weapons. We just saw them. One was a Glock handgun, correct?
correct,
One was a Kel-Tec handgun, correct?
correct.
All right. You call the Kel-Tec a quote, big pistol. Remember saying that?
I do.
Tell the jury what you mean by big pistol.
Obviously, you have the regular size Glock handgun, which is normal. We actually carried that particular model in our police department years ago. The Kel-Tec, I'm a qualified patrol rifle through the city of Atlanta, which is on an AR-15 platform, which is probably about that long total. I just that's the best way to describe it. I didn't want to call it a mini rifle because that doesn't look like a rifle to me. I grew up around guns and I work well with the department involved with those. To me, that was the best way to describe it. It was just an oversized, it looks like an oversized pistol to me, not a full length, like AR type military or police type firearm, like an AK-47. It looks like a large pistol.
Yeah, for you who don't know, the Kel-Tec pistol they are talking about, I don't have time to go back and show the actual, but it looked something like this. Hold on. Yeah, that's a big pistol. Okay.
Talk about functionality on that Kel-Tec. Have you ever fired the weapon before, the Kel-Tec?
No.
Do you know much about the functionality of Kel-Tec weapons?
I do not.
Sylvia,
So you don't know if you pull the trigger and hold it down, whether you have to continue to pull it to discharge a bullet?
Thank Elder says, I've been practicing law for 22 years and I've never seen such a nightmare of a trial. I've been streaming and commenting on American trials for a year and a half now. This is by far the biggest clusterfuck of them all. And I've seen some bad trials. And when it comes to Sweden, I've been practicing law for over 30 years. We don't do this crap over here. Now, we different system and everything, I know. But if I can't imagine one of the judges I know who would ever even associate with a cluster F like this.
I stand objection.
Okay. Do you know about the functionality of Glock handguns?
I do.
Okay. This particular Glock handgun that you
Yes,
described,
cluster
I
4.
think you indicated that it had
Four.
15
No,
or 16
no,
live
not the
rounds
word.
inside the weapon. Is that
It
correct?
sounded
I
like.
believe that's correct.
Okay. Do you know if one was in the chambers?
I believe it was.
Did you do any type of background on these particular firearms to determine whether or not they were stolen?
I did not.
Okay. Whose job or function would that have been?
I can't say for certain, but if I was a lead investigator, I would do that or ask somebody else to do it for me.
Would you have been concerned about whether or not either of those handguns were stolen?
I'm concerned with every handgun we recovered if it's stolen.
Okay. When you arrived to the location, the Tahoe, was the door to the driver's side, was it open or closed?
I believe it was closed.
Okay. So if I'm clear, the Tahoe, the door was closed and you looked over into the vehicle and you saw these firearms in the the driver's seat.
I don't remember specifically how they were. All I noticed is I noticed they were in the seat at some point.
Were you directed to go over to the Tahoe to look at the weapons?
Now, I was just part of my crime scene investigation to look at all the vehicles involved.
Okay. Did you ever learn how those weapons arrived on the driver's seat?
I did not.
Okay. Were you instructed to do any type of investigation on the cell phones?
No.
Okay. Do you know if that would have been a thwart function?
I can't speak on that behalf.
Okay. Have you ever had an investigation where you were required to conduct an investigation regarding cell phones?
Yes.
Okay. Typically, you would want to determine calls that were made on the cell phone before or right before the incident. Correct?
I'll overrule the objection.
Is that correct?
Yes, if I have a cell phone, I'd like to extract whatever data I can off the phone.
Do you know if that was done in this case?
Again, I can't speak to that as I did not do it.
All right. Let's talk about the shell casings. You indicated that there were 27 shell casings that were located at this particular scene, correct?
That sounds right.
And you indicated that there were 12 bullet fragments, right?
Correct.
Did you tell this jury whether or not you were called upon to determine whether there were any forensics on those shell casings in terms of fingerprint evidence?
I was not asked to do that. The lead investigator would take that upon himself in most cases.
And you don't know if that were done here?
I don't know one way or the other.
Okay. You do know that there's a possibility that you can.
Yeah, this is the guy the prosecution chose to have 2 full trial days on the stand testifying. He's the yellow flag guy. He did nothing else, but still he went on the stand for 2 full days. This is such a waste of time. The prosecution is now, throughout the trial, 6 months of it have been wasting time with witnesses like this. Now, remember, the judge forced them to trim down their case to the bare minimum needed for this case. And this guy is one of the people they chose as essential for their case. And he knows nothing. All he did was placing yellow flags on what he believed was evidence. This is witness number 74 or 75. The prosecution's case in chief has 209 witnesses. We aren't even halfway through the witnesses.
Cover DNA tissue from shell casings, correct?
I stand objection.
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know, as you sit here today, Investigator Smith, whether or not you can recover touch DNA from shell casings?
It's a possibility, yes.
Do you know if any of that was done in this case?
I do not know, as I was not the lead detective.
Do you know if there's a possibility that DNA soft tissue can be recovered from?
Yellow flag guy has been a cop and investigator for over 20 years. Currently, with base salary and benefits, he's making $100,000 to $120,000 a year, placing yellow flags at evidence. I mean, seriously, this is as close as you get to, I mean, this is the law enforcement equivalent to pushing carts at Walmart. And he's making $100,000 to $120,000 a year. It's like one of the experts in the Daubert hearings. All he have done since he left the FBI was what he called video enhancement. And that is, he gets a video from the officers with an instruction. We need this frame enlarged. So he gets the video, he gets to the timestamp, he pauses, he takes a screenshot, takes that screenshot into Photoshop, and does pinch and zoom. That is all that guy have done for the past 20 plus years for the law enforcement in Georgia. I had no idea those jobs existed. And he will now be an expert witness in this trial as a private contractor. I don't know, maybe $300-400 an hour. This is what you get for your taxpayers' money. Congratulations, Fulton County.
Bullet fragments.
It's a possibility, yes.
Okay. Did you ever observe any video surveillance footage from the barbershop yourself?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Is this your first time testifying here this afternoon in the 9 years that you've been a part of this case?
Yes.
Okay. And other than collecting all of this, placing these placards down, doing the measurements, and telling this jury where things were located, was that essentially your role in this case?
Yes, it was.
Were you ever?
The reason he haven't testified in the 9 years was that there were plea deals back 9 years ago. This case, the Donovan Thomas case, is solved. The guilty culprits either still in prison or on probation or something of the sort. But this is a RICO trial, and according to Georgia RICO, they can use this case against the defendants as an underlying or overt act under the RICO charge. None of them were there. But under RICO, they can still be charged, prosecuted, and possibly convicted of something they had nothing to do with. Oh, sorry, Shay. Yeah, Shay is correct. This case was never solved. I'm mixing up all the cases because there are so many plea deals involved. Yes, my apologies. This Donovan Thomas is still unsolved. Your Valpal, Shago, thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. This case is one of those who are still not solved. But this guy has been on the stand for 2 days, and not one thing tells me that these guys, the 6 remaining defendants, had anything to do with it. And I highly doubt there will be evidence who does.
Asked to go back and do any type of reenactment or any type of recreation of this particular scene?
I was not.
Did you ask for a warrant for anybody's arrest in this case?
I did not.
And you certainly don't know who fired any weapons in this case, correct?
That is correct.
And you don't know exactly what was happening before the first responders arrived to the location in terms of who did what in terms of after the incident occurred, correct?
That's correct.
You don't know what anyone inside the barbershop did other than what you were told essentially, or what you listened to in terms of a 911 call, correct?
Objection, some facts not known.
I stand objection.
Who assigned you to actually perform the CSI in this case?
I believe I volunteered for it. When
Okay.
Everybody got there as a collective. We all have our different parts. That's a lot of work for one detective.
Okay, so you volunteered for the CSI, is that right?
Thank you for the
Was there a
information,
volunteer for the
Grandpa.
lead?
Mr.
No, it
Stilwell
was
is the only one that
investigator
was
Thorpe
shot
turn.
in both
We have a
groups.
running list of, say there's 10 of us, it's 1 through 10. Number 1 is, that's their case.
There were about 3 or 4 investigators that arrived at the location?
Yeah, I believe it was about, if not more, but right in that ballpark, yeah.
Okay, so Thorpe is the lead,
Mhm.
correct?
Correct.
You're the CSI?
Correct.
What are the other 2 individuals' assignments?
I don't know, I couldn't pertain to that. Like I said, I was focused on the crime scene.
And other than the report that you testified to, did you prepare any supplemental reports in this case?
No, I did not.
Were you asked to?
Other than the crime scene report, no.
How many times did you meet with the district attorney's office in this case?
Objection, Your Honor.
I stand objection.
Did you prepare for your testimony this afternoon, Investigator Smith?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll rule that.
Did you prepare for your testimony in this case?
As I try to for every time my testimony, yes.
Did you look over those boards that are on the easel there?
Yes, I had seen those.
Did you assist in their preparation?
Other than the crime scene one on the left, no.
Okay, so these are demonstratives that were not prepared with your assistance, correct?
That's correct.
You were asked to basically describe them, right?
And to review them, yes.
You didn't put any of those placards or images on any of those demonstratives, correct?
Which one are you talking
I'm
about?
sorry, the one to you.
Yes, Gigi. Just about every carjacking, unaliving that hasn't been solved in the Atlanta area is being thrown into this RICO trial. The RICO charge alone has 196 overt or underlying acts. 196. And the RICO charge is one of, I can't remember how many charges. This is why this trial is so long, because now they have to present every underlying and overt act in this trial. 196.
Your immediate right.
That's correct.
And you were not asked for your input, correct?
That's, other than to review it, that's it.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Welcome.
Misty Williams. Mr. Gardner. Mr. Steele.
No question. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else I forget? Okay.
This guy has been on the stand for 2 full days. The cross-examination took less than 45 minutes. That is how insignificant yellow flag guy is. And still the prosecution took 2 full days of him testifying about every yellow flag he put on the ground. They presented every photo of every flag for 2 full days. This guy's testimony, I can argue now until kingdom come, could have been done in less than 30 minutes. But he's yellow flag guy. And for you who haven't seen it, I asked an AI songwriter to write a song about yellow flag guy. So let's play it again.
Yellow flag guy in the morning light, not quite watch our buddies try and ride. Marks the clues with yellow signs. Never solves the case, but keeps us alive. He walks around with his flag in hand, marks the spots like he's in command. Yellow flags on every scene. He's a part of the team, though he's rarely seen. Yellow flag guy, that's his name. Not a mastermind, but it's all the same. Does his part in his own small way. Yellow flags make sure nothing strays. Yellow flag guy on the stand, talking flags all around. No one listening, no one cares. Proudly speaking into air. He places flags every day, bright yellow in the way. Testifying, standing firm, still no one concerned. Yellow flags everywhere you see. Yellow flags waving just for me.
I will make a separate video, so and post it later, because yellow flag guy, I mean, seriously, such a waste of time.
Any redirect?
Yes, sir.
And let's listen to redirect. But the cross was all about what he didn't do. So what can they redirect about?
Just a brief introduction.
All right.
After you were asked several questions on the direct by Mr. Sharp, and after you arrived to the crime scene at McDaniel, did you have any other involvement with this case?
No, I did not.
Were you reassigned from being a crime scene investigator to being the lead investigator?
No, I was not.
What are your duties as a crime scene investigator?
Objection has been answered.
A standing objection.
He was the yellow flag guy. We all know it. Is this the redirect? After putting him on the stand on 2 days, your question to him is, what else did you do? And he says nothing. So they are themselves demoting this guy.
As part of being a crime scene investigator, are you required to go get surveillance footage?
It depends what's going on with the situation, but normally no,
Were you required to go get crime scene surveillance footage in this case?
I was not.
You were asked several questions on cross-examination by Mr. Matthews, and based on the questions regarding the firearms inside, based on the questions that Mr. Matthews asked, let me ask you this: were any of the shell casings that you found 40 caliber?
No, they were not.
Were any of them .223 caliber?
They were not.
You also were asked about fingerprint evidence with respect to shell casings. Why do you say there's a possibility?
It's a possibility of anything nowadays with technology and collection of latent prints or DNA evidence.
With respect to the demonstratives that are behind you, you were also asked several questions by Mr. Matthews. Let me ask you a couple of questions regarding them. Are the demonstratives consistent with the crime scene that you responded to on January 10, 2015?
Yes, they are.
And are the placards consistent with what is on your crime scene diagram?
You have an objection, sir? Basis?
Ask and answer.
A standing objection.
Okay. You were asked by Mr. Matthews if you took a warrant out for anyone's arrest. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Why would you have taken a warrant for anyone's arrest instead?
My only involvement was doing the crime scene. I didn't have any, I guess, direct involvement with doing the full investigation, as I had my own cases to work.
You were also asked if you prepared any supplemental reports by Mr. Matthews. Do you remember that question?
I do.
When does a person prepare supplemental reports?
At any point during the investigation, mine was done 2 days after the incident occurred by the time I gathered it together. So it could vary from case to case. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a whole year before an investigation is complete.
But why would anyone provide a supplement to a report that was already written?
So I'm not sure that
Let me ask a different question. You prepared a diagram in this case, correct?
that's correct.
And would there have been any need for you to prepare something in addition to that diagram?
I stand in objection.
Would there have been any reason for you to prepare?
Oh, let him finish. Let him
Would
finish.
there have been any reason here for you to prepare another report?
No,
In what circumstances would you provide an additional report?
say for instance, this was not as complex crime scene. I may do a neighborhood canvas when I'm completed, and then that will require a secondary supplement report of a canvas on top of a crime scene diagram, or if I possibly forgot to put something on a crime scene diagram and then realized that a day or two later, I would do a supplement report to explain why that additional information was added in the original report.
Was there any such need to do that here for this incident?
Not for me, no.
You were also asked about Mr. Matthews, if you were asked to go out to do a reenactment of the crime scene. Do you remember that question?
I do.
In what circumstances would you be required to do that?
My 14 plus years as a detective, I don't think I ever have.
But in what circumstances would someone ask you to do a reenactment?
I stand in objection for multiple grounds.
Yeah. What else do you have? Prosecutor, who I don't care
Why would you
about enough
not
to know your
force
name.
any investigation into the cell phones?
Again, I was not the lead detective on this investigation.
So why have you been on the stand for 2 days?
Cross-examination, Mr. Matthews, that you are not the lead because it wasn't your turn. How does one get their turn to be the lead?
I said in our homicide unit, when I was there, there was, easy example, there was 10 detectives that were assigned to investigate homicides that occur as frequently as they did. They'd be like, for instance, my name may be one of the number one, it may be D. Smith, and then in this case, J. Thorpe. If at noontime I got called to investigate a homicide, I would go to the bottom of the list and investigate a J. Thorpe, and that would be the number one person. And it just rotates through the list, and sometimes it rotates quickly and sometimes it doesn't.
And finally, you were also asked with respect to whether you performed a background on the firearms found in the Tahoe. Do you remember Mr. Matthews asking you that question?
I do.
And why wouldn't you have performed any background on those firearms found in the Tahoe?
Again, that was not my task that day. It was just to collect the evidence. A lot of times that either can come either through the lead detective, or we have a database we can
And
check
2
down
days
through
on
the
the
ATS. So I'm
stand.
not sure when or who was directed to do that. If
All
they were,
about yellow
it
flag.
could have been, but I was not.
And did you perform the task that you were supposed to handle that day?
I did.
No further questions.
Redirect. Mr. Sharp, or recross, I should say.
Okay, recross.
You were just asked if you performed the task that you were supposed to handle that day. Who determined what you were supposed to handle?
I volunteered for it to do the crime scene.
So who determined what you were supposed to handle?
I did.
Okay. You made that.
As far as the crime scene goes, as far as the rest of the investigation, I can't speak on that part. But for me, I worked with that crime scene tech.
So he showed up and volunteered to put down yellow flags. And 2 days on the stand. 2 days. Yeah, he really is yellow flag guy. He shows up at crime scenes. I'm here, I'm here. Where do I put my yellow flags? And then he has like a garbage bag filled with yellow flags. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. And the rest of the officers are just let him be. Let him have his fun. This is what he does. Don't disturb him. He might cry. 2 days on the stand because he volunteers to put out yellow flags at crime scene.
To determine what we needed to collect for evidence and categorize.
Okay. On redirect, you talked about at times making supplemental reports, completing supplemental reports, correct?
That's correct.
All right, and you use an example when you do a neighborhood canvas, you would write a supplemental report.
I would.
Okay, so this is not the first time you were an assisting detective on a crime scene, correct?
Yeah, on homicides in general, yes.
It was not your first time.
No,
Okay. You have performed neighborhood canvases and searches for cameras and things of that nature on other scenes, correct?
Objection, relevance.
I sustain the objection.
Okay, you've written reports about neighborhood canvases and searching for cameras in other cases, correct?
Same objection, Your
I
Honor.
sustain the objection.
On redirect, you said you were not required. That was the state's word, required. What to look for cameras? When you said you were not required, what did you mean by that?
again, that wasn't my function for that particular day. It was to gather and collect and categorize the evidence that was there.
Okay. Detective Thorpe never specifically asked you to look for cameras, did he?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Detective Thorpe never specifically asked you to walk up Hills Avenue, correct?
Not that I can recall.
Now the defense is preparing us and the jury for what Detective Thorpe might say about cameras or anything.
Or Northside Drive?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Weinstein, anything further? Mr. Matthews, anything further? Misty Williams, anything else? Mr. Garner, anything? Mr. Steele, anything?
No, thank you.
All right, anything further?
Nothing you want to say just now, Mr. Midsex, it's 284. Thank you.
2 full trial days and cross-examination, redirect and recross done in under an hour.
For demonstrative purposes, correct?
Because yellow flag guy
They're admitted. Okay,
did nothing else but put yellow flags. And testified
may Investigator Smith be
to, yeah, he saw the guns on the front seat. He didn't take the picture. He doesn't know how they got there or who placed them there. But he saw them. No chain of custody whatsoever.
permanently temporary excuse a witness.
Oh, please.
All right.
Yeah,
Investigator Smith,
permanently. Good
we're going to
choice.
permanently
Good
excuse you as a
choice.
witness, but please don't discuss your testimony anybody except the attorneys in this case, and thank you for your patience with us, okay?
Thank you for
All
getting me in before vacation.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This is so insanely bad. Now, the next witness is the barber shop owner, but I will save that for tomorrow. 1 hour and 40 minutes. I could have made this a lot shorter, but but I'm having so much fun with you guys in the chat and everything. So yeah. So I will do the rest of this tomorrow. And as per usual, I will do this as a recap. We will catch up and then break at lunch tomorrow. So that is what will happen tomorrow. Now, again, this is a cluster F, and I'm so grateful to all of you to sticking around for this. Hopefully, I can provide good commentary, good content for you to keep this interesting in some shape or form. Maybe tomorrow. Well, I kind of know that tomorrow, the barbershop guy, that will be interesting. That will be interesting, but that is for tomorrow. So welcome back tomorrow for that. I'm going to send you over to watch the weather. There are serious weather in the United States. So I'm going to send you over to live storm chaser in Texas. So if you are in Texas or surrounding states, be careful, folks. if you hear the sirens, get yourself underground or the safest room in the house. Okay? Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Thank you for all the thumbs up, the subscriptions, and everything. Until tomorrow, hug your family. Unless your family is crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it, okay? See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.